Hey y'all, it's Stacy with SouthernBite.com. I'm in the kitchen today with my friends from Tony Chachere's because we're taking one of my favorite weeknight meals and we're amping it up and giving it a Creole makeover. This is my Kickin Creole Tater Tot Casserole. I've got about a pound of ground chuck here in a skillet, and I just want to get this starting to brown. Now, one of the mistakes a lot of people make when browning ground beef is they don't actually allow it to brown. They'll cook it through and it'll be kind of gray and boring. But when you actually get some brown color on that, which is caused by what's called the Maillard reaction, that browning that happens, it adds flavor, right? And we don't want to miss an opportunity to add more flavor. So when you're browning ground beef, be sure to walk away from it. Let it sit there for a little while so that it caramelizes and gets all that brown goodness, and we're not just cooking it through. We're not missing that opportunity to add flavor. Now, to this I'm going to add a medium onion. Now this could be whatever onion you have. If you have a yellow onion, a white onion, any of those should work just fine. I just barely sliced off the root end so we don't have to deal with all that mess. I sliced off the top. I'm going to cut this in half and just peel that outer edge back. Slippery little booger. And I'm going to dice this up. And the easiest way for me to dice this, now I know you've probably seen people who do the cuts like this and then turn it like this and then dice it like this. Well, anytime that you're bringing a knife toward your fingers, I think we want to eliminate that as much as possible. So I do it a little bit differently. I actually quarter my onion, and then what I do is I slice just like this, just as if I were cutting the other way, but rather than cutting toward me, I'm cutting down. Then I flip it and do those same cuts. And then that way I'm not cutting toward my fingers, if that makes sense. Okay, now we're going to take our onion that we've got diced here and add it right into our ground beef. We want to cook this together, get this started cooking, because what we also want to do is we kind of want to sweat those onions out and get those starting to cook as well. So doing these two steps together just saves us a little bit of time. Okay, now we've got our ground beef nice and brown. You can actually see some of that dark brown color in there, which is going to add some great flavor. Since we're using chuck, you may find some excess grease in the bottom of the pan. Just drain that away, return the meat and the pan back to the heat, and we're going to add our other ingredients. Now, we want this to be super creamy and delicious, lots of sauce. So I'm adding 2 10.5-ounce cans of cream of mushroom soup. I'm adding 1 10-ounce can of tomatoes with green chilies that I've drained most of the liquid off. Just stir this together. I'm also going to add about 2 tablespoons of ketchup and about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Is anybody ever confident in the way that they say that word? All right. Stir this together. The goal here is to get this all combined and heated through. All right, you can see that's nice and combined. To this, we're going to add our Tony Chachere's original Creole seasoning. Now, this is totally up to you how much you add. I'm going to add about a teaspoon and then give it a taste and see if we need to add some more. Since we're using Tony's, there's no need to add additional salt and pepper. Let's give it a taste. I think that's perfect. About a teaspoon, it gives it the right salt level and also gives it tons of great flavor with just a touch of heat that you expect from Creole seasoning. Okay, once this is heated through, we're going to turn the heat off and we're going to pour this meat mixture into our prepared pan. Again, this is just a 9 by 13 pan that we've sprayed with a little non-stick cooking spray. And you can see we've got tons of delicious sauce in this. You know, I love tater tot casserole, but a lot of the ones that I've had in the past just kind of fell flat because they ended up a little dry. Well, we're gonna make sure this is nothing like those. This is gonna be super gooey with tons of sauce. All right, on top of this, we're going to add 2 cups or about 8 ounces of shredded pepper jack cheese. Now, sometimes pepper jack can be a little hard to find already shredded in the grocery store, so you may have to buy one of the 8-ounce blocks and shred it yourself. It's totally worth the extra effort, I promise. But being said, if you don't want to do that, a cheddar, a Monterey Jack, a Colby Jack, anything like that will also work. It's just that in this case, the pepper jack gives us a little more heat and a little more flavor. Now we're gonna add our tater tots. But these just aren't any tater tots, they're tater tots with onions. It's just another opportunity to add some more great flavor. Now, you can just dump these on top, or you can delicately layer them in here just however you wish. It's totally up to you. All right, so you can see we've got our tater tots added here. You may not end up using them all, that's totally fine. If you want, you can just throw the others on top, or you can save those for later. Okay, now we're gonna add a little more flavor because we're gonna sprinkle a little more Tony Chachere's original Creole seasoning right on the top, just to add a little flavor to those tater tots. This is gonna go in the oven for 30 to 40 minutes or until it's heated through and these tater tots are nice and golden brown. All right. This has been cooking for about 30 minutes. You can see that it's bubbly around the edges. All the cheese is nice and melty. It just looks so good. Y'all, this is just one of those things that it's just great comfort food, right? Gonna scoop some out onto the plate. Look at that. Do you see the cheese? Yeah. Yay for the cheese pull. Oh, what a mess. That makes it even better. You know, the messiest food is always the best, right? This is gonna be super hot, but I can't wait to give it a try. From the delicious flavors of the Tony's Creole seasoning to the onion tater tots to those tomatoes with chilies, I just know this is gonna be as popular with your family as it is with mine. So good. You've got to try this. Y'all enjoy. So good.